What if I told you that the cup of instant coffee you make in 10 seconds, the one you barely think about every morning, is actually the result of weeks of farming, thousands of miles of shipping, and some of the most insane food engineering technology on the planet? Most people assume instant coffee is just cheap, quick, basic. But the process behind it? Anything but. Today, we're going inside America's instant coffee mega factory and following every single step, from a raw green bean on a farm to that tiny granule dissolving in your cup. And by the end of this, you will never look at that jar the same way again. It starts not in a factory, but on a farm, and the journey is already longer than most people expect. Coffee doesn't grow as a bean, it grows as a fruit. A small, bright red cherry that has to be carefully harvested, either by hand or machine, before the fruit surrounding the seed is stripped away. What's left after that processing is the raw green coffee bean. Hard, dense, almost completely odorless. Nothing about it looks or smells like the coffee you drink. These beans are then dried, cleaned, packed into massive containers, and shipped across oceans, sometimes traveling for weeks, before they even arrive at the factory gates. And the moment they do, the clock starts. Quality control teams are waiting. Every incoming truck gets sampled immediately. The beans are checked for moisture content, size, color, and physical condition. Anything that doesn't meet the standard gets rejected on the spot. It sounds like a routine step, but think about what's at stake. One bad batch slipping through affects millions of servings, so nothing gets waved through. Only approved beans move into the facility, and from this point forward, every single stage has the same level of obsession over quality. The first real transformation happens in the roasting room, and if you ever walked into this part of the factory, the smell alone would stop you in your tracks. The green beans enter enormous rotating drums, where temperatures push several hundred degrees Fahrenheit. Inside those drums, something remarkable happens. Moisture dries out of the beans, chemical reactions fire off one after another, and hundreds of individual flavor and aroma compounds develop, compounds that didn't exist 5 minutes earlier. The beans deepen in color, from pale green to golden to brown to dark. The smell shifts from grassy and raw to rich, warm, unmistakably coffee. Roasting is the stage where flavor is born, which also makes it the stage where everything can go wrong. A few extra degrees or a couple of extra minutes can completely change the taste profile of the final product. So when the roast hits the exact target level, the beans are pulled and cooled rapidly, stopping the process instantly and locking the flavor right where it needs to be.
Next comes grinding, and this isn't the gentle grinding you do at home before brewing a morning cup. Industrial grinders reduce massive volumes of roasted beans into precisely sized particles, calculated specifically for the extraction process that follows. Too coarse, and you leave flavor behind. Too fine, and the process gets clogged and inefficient. The grind size is dialed in exactly, and what comes out is an enormous quantity of freshly ground coffee with an aroma strong enough to fill the entire building.
Now, here's the part that surprises most people. The factory still isn't making instant coffee yet. What it's doing next is brewing, just on a scale that's genuinely hard to wrap your head around. The ground coffee feeds into giant extraction towers, which are essentially industrial brewing systems. Hot water flows through the coffee under carefully controlled pressure and temperature conditions, pulling out the soluble flavor compounds, the oils, the aroma, everything that makes coffee taste like coffee. These towers run continuously and can produce thousands of gallons of concentrated liquid coffee every single day. What comes out the other side is a deep, intensely flavored liquid extract, strong, rich, and loaded with water that still needs to come out. Before drying can happen, that extract goes through concentration. Large evaporation systems carefully remove a significant portion of the water content under controlled conditions that protect the flavor compounds from being damaged by heat. What starts as a thin liquid slowly becomes thicker, heavier, and far more concentrated. This step matters because the less water you're carrying into the drying stage, the more efficient and cost-effective the whole operation becomes. And efficiency at this scale, millions of servings a day, makes an enormous difference. Then comes the step that separates average instant coffee from the premium stuff, freeze drying. The concentrated liquid extract is frozen solid at extremely low temperatures. Those frozen slabs then go into specialized vacuum chambers, where something fascinating happens. The ice doesn't melt into liquid. Instead, under the low pressure conditions inside the chamber, it converts directly from solid to vapor, a process called sublimation. The water disappears, and what's left behind are dry, frail sheets of concentrated coffee solids. These sheets are then carefully broken down into the small, irregular granules you recognize the moment you open a jar of good instant coffee. The reason freeze-drying produces better coffee than other methods is simple, because the flavor and aroma compounds never get exposed to the high heat that would destroy them. The coffee essentially gets preserved exactly as it was in liquid form, just with the water removed. Before a single granule gets packaged, samples go to the quality lab. Moisture content, solubility, color, aroma, flavor consistency, everything gets tested. Because the whole point of instant coffee is that it dissolves fast and tastes good every single time. If the granules don't meet spec, production doesn't continue until adjustments are made. There's no cutting corners at this stage, because this is the last checkpoint before the product reaches the consumer. Packaging runs at a pace that's almost unsettling to watch. Storage hoppers feed granules into automated filling machines that portion out exact amounts into glass jars, plastic containers, refill pouches, or single-serve sachets, depending on the product. Lids are applied automatically. Sealing systems lock out moisture and air. High-speed labeling machines apply every detail: brand, nutritional info, expiration dates, batch codes, while camera systems inspect every single package for defects. Anything that fails gets pulled off the line without hesitation. Approved products move to secondary packaging, get grouped into retail and shipping cartons, and then robotic palletizing systems stack and arrange everything for maximum efficiency in transport. From there, the pallets move into warehouses where millions of servings sit waiting for distribution. Trucks roll in, load up, and head out to supermarkets, convenience stores, wholesalers, and export terminals. Within days, those same beans that arrived green and odorless at the factory gate are sitting on a shelf somewhere, or already dissolving in someone's cup on the other side of the world. That's the full journey. From a red cherry on a farm to a granule dissolving in your cup in seconds. Something this simple on the surface turns out to be one of the most fascinating manufacturing processes out there. And now, every time you make your morning coffee, you'll know exactly what went into that jar. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it with someone who can't start their day without instant coffee, and subscribe for more factory deep dives just like this one. We'll see you in the next one.